Incoming reports from New York City. We have two giant monster attacks, a massive lizard who is only known as Godzilla, and an incredibly large ape known only as King Kong, who seems unaware that we do not abide by monarchies here in the United States. They have torn asunder millions of landmarks before going at each other on the big screen, meaning we're off to a year that is only slightly not as bad as 2020 as far as large scale disasters go. And the only hope we have is for two amateur cartoon critics to critique their cartoons adaptions until they go away. Will they save us? I don't think so. But here they are, the Animates, here to review Godzilla and Kong's respective animated series in honor of their upcoming return to the big screen.
This all sounds like fake news to me. I have never encountered a giant lizard or a giant ape in my life.
See, you can think that, but I'm gonna skip town to Cancun while I have the chance.
Where you off to? Where you off to, Ted? You getting on that plane? Ted!
Oh my gosh. You've all played your bed yourselves. You are screwed. Have a good day.
I imagine Ted Cruz just getting on a plane and flying like right past Godzilla.
Obviously,
just like relaxing in his chair.
Just what a schmuck.
It's like, Texas, where have I heard that name before? Oh no. Oh no! There he is! C3F!
Anyway, we do have slightly less monstrous characters to talk about. Including in a case of, if we took Godzilla to court for this cartoon, it'd be a case of mistaken identity because in official Toho canon, that is not Godzilla, but simply Zilla. Because Godzilla's original creators were so disappointed with this adaptation of Godzilla, not the cartoon, but the movie it was based on, that they didn't want it associated directly with Godzilla. So they bought the rights to the character and simply renamed him Zilla, as though he took the god out of Godzilla.
Yeah, they really did not like the American Godzilla, did they?
No.
Were you a fan of the movie at all? What are your views on 1996's Godzilla, or 98?
It's been a super long time since I've seen it, and I'm willing to wait. And I can see why people really don't like it. It is very much it does strike me a bit like, oh, well, we're the Americans. We're going to make it serious and scientifically rooted, and he's going to look like an iguana. And I'm willing to wager a lot of it is kind of sensational criticism, like everyone's kind of jumping on it. I'd have to watch it again to really make a determination. That said, I'm not exactly in a hurry to go to bat with Zilla.
I would say, yeah, I'd say that's a pretty accurate summary of that. I watched it vaguely recently. I want to say like a few months ago because it appeared on Netflix.
Right.
It's not a very good movie in general, and it's not a very good Godzilla movie. So both those things combined, I can't see anyone having a huge amount of love for it in general. Also, really dated CGI and CGI was pretty good at that point. I think you could pull it off pretty well, but it just none of it looks particularly great. And they obviously wanted to do a very Jurassic Park-esque film, down to all the mini Godzilla Raptor lookalikes.
I will say it's pretty brilliantly marketed. I don't know. I remember looking back at the marketing campaign for it, and they wouldn't show what Godzilla looks like. It would simply be like an advert on the side of a bus that says his foot is the size of this bus. Or
I remember that, yeah.
His head is the size of this billboard. And I think that's a super smart way to go about it.
I recall they also had giant billboards that said size does matter everywhere, which could be misconstrued. Yeah. Like, what the hell is that for?
Hubba hubba. Zilla's current status as a kaiju is Toho bought the rights to him and renamed him Zilla so they could put him in Godzilla Final Wars, which is kind of an everyone is here of Godzilla bad guys and monsters, and Godzilla's just beating them up left and right. And Zilla has the shortest encounter in which he tries to join the fight, encounters Godzilla, who turns around and hits him with his tail into the Sydney Opera House, which then bursts into flames and kills him.
I have seen that clip played over like an early like 2000s rock song. I can't remember what it was now. But it's so, I thought someone had like done it as a like a music video and overlaid that music, but no, that is the actual track from the film. Roll the clip.
I think there were rights disputes with all the other kaiju, meaning no other notable monsters could show up in this show.
I did wonder why there weren't any classic Godzilla monsters in it. I was expecting some sort of Mothra or what's a bird guy? the
Rodan?
Rodan.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Rydar. I don't know who that
Rydar.
is. It's a character from something. Yeah, I was expecting like more well-known monsters to appear in this, but it doesn't appear that any of them do, as you have just pointed out.
No. And I think it's kind of a double-edged sword, because when you've got this like just slightly more, I keep saying scientifically accurate Godzilla, which is something of an oxymoron, but you know, a more grounded Godzilla. Mm-hmm. When you have that, I think it fits to have more grounded monsters besides like Jet Jaguar and Megalon showing up. But sure. But on the other hand, at least if these two monsters we watched were any indicator, they weren't that great, unfortunately.
They were kind of just, they're monster of the week type things, aren't they? And they don't, if you can't really assign them a personality, which I think the Godzilla movies actually succeed in doing, despite them just being people in suits, kind of lumbering around for the most part, they do like manage to give them personality. And in this, they're kind of just, they're flat. This is your monster, bleh, and that's it.
The big red colony monster, I think, is supposed to be inspired by Destoroyah, who was basically a colony of mutant shrimp who come together to make a big monster, dragon monster guy. But like, if you compare the two, it's very clear what they're going for. And it's not that I like hate it. Oh, I want my own kaiju. Like, I respect what they're going for. It's just not super memorable. And again, this is just, we watched the 2 episodes that were available on YouTube, basically. So for all we know, there's like cult incredible kaiju somewhere else in this series, but it's just not quite the ones we watched.
I think I saw there was some sort of like cyborg mechanical Godzilla at some point. Not fully in Mecha Godzilla.
I think I was like looking at some marketing and they call him like Robo Godzilla or something. Or metal, like something legally distinct from Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
I think the best way I can describe the dynamic Godzilla has, it's like Godzilla's almost like the human's Pokemon in this, which really contradicts the film. There's a bit where like the moral of the episode is one of the scientist guys has to learn to be brave. And the episode ends on a note of he's like, well, maybe I'm not so afraid to be on the front line anymore. Then Godzilla like does his trademark roar and it startles him and everyone's basically like, huh, Godzilla.
Yeah, he's the protector of Nick Totopoulos. I may have said his name wrong. That was the running joke in the film. So, you know, I'm only as guilty of saying his name wrong as every other character is. But he's like his protector familiar in this series and follows him around and senses if he is in danger, apparently. Which is an interesting angle to take. I don't know why Godzilla would be concerned with that. I can't imagine it would be.
The people who make Toho movies tend to approach it like, we don't think of the kaiju as characters in an ongoing story so much as performers to tell different stories with. So it's okay that one day Godzilla hates humanity and another he protects it. So I think it's okay that they take that angle here. It's more just jarring how much it contradicts the 98 movie when that's so clearly what they're kind of aping off of.
Yes, it seems like the people on the series were at the very least fans of the original Godzilla films, I want to say, and they wanted to just kind of, they used the things from that movie that they were instructed to do, and then they decided they would go off completely in their own direction, which seems like it was the best choice, really.
I agree. Yeah. I'm just gonna, for the heck of it, look up Godzilla animated series monsters, see if there's any others that really.
One thing, we didn't watch any of the episodes with the character in, but the mayor from the Godzilla movie comes back in this series, voiced by the same actor. And
that's wonderful.
I really wanted to see him again because he's the only character in that movie that I really enjoyed. Like,
I don't remember him super thoroughly. Was he like a big sandwich eating corrupt figure, or?
Yeah, pretty much. He was the character that was based on Roger Ebert, as like him and his assistant were based on Siskel and Ebert, and it was meant to be like one of those in-jokes where I think they had criticized one of Roland Emmerich's films, so he based two bumbling characters on them. And as Roger Ebert himself pointed out in their review of the film, you base these two characters on us, but nothing bad happens to them. Like, if you were going to put us in the movie, at least have us stamped on by Godzilla or something.
That's wonderful.
But they are generally the only fun characters in the film. There's a bit where like the military are trying to blow up Godzilla and they take out I think it's like the Chrysler building, they just blow it to pieces, and the mayor's just like, you blow up the goddamn Chrysler building. They're just like freaking out because they're just like doing more damage to the city than Godzilla is.
What the hell is the matter with you people? You've caused more damage than that goddamn thing did!
All right, Mayor, calm down. Just have some candy.
So would you recommend this Godzilla cartoon to someone?
I would recommend it to all three heads of King Ghidorah. Since they each have their own personality, one would really enjoy it, one wouldn't enjoy it, and one would change the channel to turn on Godzilla and Godzuki.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I agree.
There we go.
I guess, is that a yes?
I get.
These are becoming more abstract.
That's my way of saying I feel relatively ambivalent and in a way neutral. I think if you're like burningly curious, there's worse ways to kill 22 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's not for me. Like, I think I remember watching some of this back in the day, and I didn't watch it with any great loyalty or regularity. But if it was on, I'd be like, eh. And I'm pretty much of that view now. I think I prefer my Godzilla to be either very sort of like dark and terrifying, like the original movies or the new American ones, or just completely insane. And this is somewhere between those two. And because of that, I think I didn't engage with it as much as I could have done. But it was fine. I'm sure it's got its fan base out there. It's certainly better than Roland Emmerich's film. I'll give them that. It's fine. Yeah, it's a solid series, I think. But probably not one that I will watch any more of.
Nah. I guess all it needed was for a Jet Jaguar to start one of his good old-fashioned sing-alongs.
The world needs more Jet Jaguar.
Of course.
行け行け平和を守るためみんなも驚く勇気を見せるゴジラとジャガーでパンチパンチパンチパンチパンチパンチ泣くな僕らも